This is it. Lesson 12 of 12, the CAPSTONE. 11 lessons ago, you started with a single CrowdSec instance and a fail two-ban mental model. Today, you command parsers, scenarios, the LAPI, kernel firewalls, L7 bouncers, the hub, the console, and AppSec. This final lesson packages all of it for production: multi-server topology, a Postgres backend, backups, monitoring, and a 30-point checklist you can tape to your monitor. Before we build, let's measure how far you've come. Lesson 0 was one host, hand-edited IP tables, a single auth log, and a reactive ban that fired after the attacker already got in. Lesson 12 is N hosts behind a central LAPI with replicas, kernel firewall plus L7 bouncer plus AppSec WAF, every log source feeding in, console routing alerts to Slack or webhooks, and OWASP top 10 virtually patched before exploits land. Same person, same hardware, fundamentally different posture. Single-server CrowdSec is fine for 1 to 3 hosts. Past that, you split the brain from the muscles. One central LAPI, VM LAPI 01, owns the PostgreSQL database, the CAPI we set up in Lesson 9, and the console wiring from Lesson 10. Your production agents on Nginx and Postgres boxes just read logs and push alerts over HTTPS. Bouncers, Iptables, Nginx AppSec, Cloudflare pull that same LAPI every 10 seconds for decisions. One endpoint, one source of truth, fleet-wide. Wiring it up comes down to 3 config files. On the central LAPI host, you bind the API to all interfaces on 8080, terminate TLS with a real cert, and disable the CrowdSec service itself. This box is LAPI only, no log parsing here. Agents do the inverse. Kill their local API server, point credentials or path at the central LAPI, and keep CrowdSec service running. Bouncers just need the API URL and a key. And those agent credentials? Don't handwrite them. Run CSQLite machines add prod 01, A on the LAPI host, and it generates the YAML for you. Now, with traffic flowing through your central API, the next bottleneck is the database. SQLite is fine until it isn't. Once you cross roughly 100,000 decisions, you'll hit lock contention and queries start crawling, and there's no replication story at all. Migrating is straightforward. Provision a Postgres database and user, switch the DBA config block to type PostgreSQL with SSL mode require, restart, and CrowdSec auto-creates the schema. From there, streaming replication and read replicas are on the table. CrowdSec only ever writes to the primary. A bigger database means a bigger blast radius, which brings us to backups. The mistake most operators make is dumping only Postgres and calling it done. But a database without its config or hub state is half a restore. So treat it as 3 artifacts. PG dump nightly, tar your etch CrowdSec tree on every change and keep it in Git, and snapshot the installed hub items weekly with cuskly hub list. Restore in that order. Config, then hub, then DB. And you're back online inside 10 minutes. Test it quarterly or it doesn't count. With backups handled, you need eyes on the running system. And CrowdSec already gives you that for free on port 6060, Prometheus format, no plugin required. Point your existing Grafana at it and watch 6 metrics. Active decisions should never silently drop to 0. Bucket overflows spiking 10 times baseline means you're under attack, and parser hits going flat means a log source just broke. Add LAPI uptime to catch restart loops, CAPI pulls to confirm the community feed is alive, and AppSec blocks from Lesson 11 to spot new scan patterns. Alert on these and you'll know before your users do. So here it is. 30 checks across 6 categories, the distilled wisdom of everything we've covered. Deploy, detect, respond, observe, maintain, document, 5 items each. TLS on your LAPI, Postgres replication, bouncers per host group, custom scenarios for your business logic, CAPTCHA on login, runbooks for the 3 a.m. pages. Tape this to your monitor. If you can't honestly answer yes to all 30, you're not in production yet. You're in a demo that happens to face the internet. Now, what does that 30-item checklist actually look like in the wild? 3 shapes depending on your scale. Small, 1 to 5 hosts, single LAPI, SQLite, app tables bouncer, free console, Slack for alerts. Costs you nothing. Mid-size, 5 to 50 hosts, central LAPI with agent fleet, Postgres plus a read replica, L7 bouncers and AppSec at the edge. About 50 a month. Enterprise, 50 hosts and up, multi-region, active standby LAPIs, managed Postgres, Cloudflare worker, full Prometheus and Grafana, 500 plus. Pick the one that matches your reality today and mix freely as you grow. Now, before you ship any of those shapes, let me hand you the scars. 5 things that bite real fleets. 1. Your central LAPI becomes a single point of failure, so run a standby with fallback in the bouncer config. 2. Clock skew between agents and LAPI silently kills alerts. NTP is non-negotiable. 3. Postgres exhausts its connection pool under spikes, so raise max connections or front it with PG bouncer. 4. Grafana lags the console because scrape intervals don't align. And 5. The DR drill nobody runs until the disk dies and the backup key is gone. Practice the restore, quarterly, on a clean VM. So pull back and look at the whole map. 4 stages, 24 skills, and every one of them earned in your own terminal. Foundation gave you the mental model and the muscle memory. Failed 2-band thinking traded for CrowdSec architecture. Detection taught you to write the rules, not just consume them. Parsers, scenarios, the LAPI, profiles. Response armed you with bouncers at layer 3 and 7, plus 5 million community-curated IPs pulled automatically. And operations, the last 3 lessons, turned a single host into a fleet with a dashboard, a WAF, Postgres underneath, and a checklist to ship by. Print this slide. It is the shape of what you now know. And that's it. You completed CrowdSec Mastery. 12 lessons, 4 stages, 24 skills, 1 production-ready operator. If you came in from the fail-banned prequel, look how far the road has carried you. If you're heading next into the WAF deep dive or production SecOps, I'll see you there. Thanks for taking the journey. Now go run the fleet.